Why is your hair so good? Why is your skin so light? I'll get questions like, are you Hispanic? Are you mixed?
Why wouldn't I think I was black?
A lot of people off the back think I'm black. I am Dominican.
Just because you're black doesn't mean you're African American. I used to identify as Caribbean American.
I am African. Am I?
I'm part Native American. It's always been weird trying to figure out who I am.
Eritrean, Irish, Italian, Arab.
Black and white for a lot of my life. Black was something that I rejected.
Black.
Black.
Black. You must have been told, well, you're not really black.
Blackness is big enough to hold every shade.
I am a black woman, and these are my black daughters who happen to have a white father.
I am black. It's never been a question. It's just been as simple as a beating inside me.
I am.
I am. I am.
I'm Soledad O'Brien. Over the last 5 years in this series, we've explored what it means to be black in America. My mother's black and Cuban. My father's white and from Australia. And when I was born in the mid-1960s, the census didn't even track the number of mixed-race children. Because my mother's black, I always considered myself black. And when I was a kid, my mother used to tell me, don't let anyone tell you you're not black. But more often, the question I was getting was, what are you? With the 2010 census saying a record 7% of new births are mixed race, more young people are grappling with that question, grappling with their racial identity. This installation of Black in America follows two young women who struggle with their racial identities and who are sick of answering the question, what are you?
If I had like a word to describe me, it would most likely be quirky. I'm in a band. We do like progressive alternative rock kind of. At first when people meet me, they don't really know what I am. People will ask me like, what are you?
17-year-old Nio Jones is a singer, a talented poet, a high school senior. But that's not what people want to know.
Recently, after I'd had one of those experiences, I just started like writing things, and then I was like, well, you know, Becca deals with the same things. Let's just make this a group piece.
What is it that you want to do?
I don't know, just pick a book and pick a poem.
Becca Khalil is Nio's best friend. They do spoken word poetry together.
It starts off and it's like, girl, you are so pretty. What are you? The quintessential question for any tan-skinned girl with soft, kinky curls and a frizz that doesn't seem to quit, because answering human simply isn't enough for them. They can't handle my racially ambiguous figure.
They itch to know just what I am. It helps them sleep at night if they can just pin down the reason for my beige, blonde, khaki, burnt potato bread skin.
The young women are being asked to categorize themselves racially.
I am beautiful.
In a country that has historically put most people into one of two boxes, black or white.
Can you decide if you're black or white?
I don't think anybody else gets to pick for me.
When it comes down to it, it's what I say about myself that's the most important.
I knew he was. That could... Oh. All right, I see you at workshop.
Perry DiVirgilio coaches and mentors Nio, Becca, and other young poets in the Philadelphia Youth Poetry Movement, or PYPM. Many are struggling to define themselves.
Like literally.
He's also a spoken word poet, with some fame in the city, where he's known as Vision.
I am the artistic director here at PYPM.
Today, and for the next month, he's teaching a poetry workshop focusing on racial identity, skin color, and discrimination.
How many folks here have been asked, what are you? I'm going to talk about, how you identify yourself versus how others identify you and whether you're okay with that.
It's a challenge he's experienced himself.
That's what we got. White boy, half-breed, mulatto, what is he? The things I'm reading right now, I don't have memorized because I'm running from it. I'm not going to lie, I'm running from that poem. I think I'm going to do the Lucia piece, though.
He's running from his past. Divorced parents, his father Perry is white, his mother is black. He says she hates her skin color.
She doesn't like being dark-skinned. I haven't talked to her in years. I think subconsciously it made it okay in my mind to like not be okay with who you are. You know, to kind of not be comfortable in your own skin. I didn't want the curly hair. I didn't want the light skin. I wanted to blend in to be just like everybody else. I used to live here with my mom. My father is white. He lived in a black neighborhood. My mother was black. She moved us to a really white community. I got like jumped like literally right here on this pavement because I was black. And they would make comments about my mom, you know, monkey noises and, you know, nigga this, nigga that. And
beat up and taunted because to the white boys, he wasn't white enough.
My father's house, this is home.
To his father's black neighbors, he wasn't black enough.
There's always jokes here and there and side marks and light-skinned boys think they this and high yellow this and things of that nature.
High yellow, meaning light-skinned. It's one of many taunts he heard over the years that made him feel rejected by the black community. Those taunts, the result of colorism.
Colorism is a system that says that light-skinned is more valued than dark-skinned. The ones that I end up selecting...
Professor Yaba Blay wants to get people of all shades working together to end colorism, instead of pointing fingers at one another. It's why this dark-skinned woman began One Drop, a project that looks at the experiences of light-skinned people and what it means to be black. She plans to turn it into a book of photos and essays.
One Drop really started as my own personal exploration into what I call the other side of blackness. It helped me to kind of think differently, if you will, helped me to reflect on the assumptions that I was making about people of lighter skin.
She believes colorism divides the black community, creating identity issues for light-skinned blacks and self-esteem issues for those who are darker-skinned. She's felt it herself.
I had a friend, or someone I considered a friend, very light-skinned, blue eyes. She got engaged. And so I said to her jokingly one day, like, hello, where's my invitation? And she said to me, very matter-of-fact, girl, my mama would pass out if you came to my wedding.
Because you're dark-skinned.
Basically, I was too dark.
Why do you think discussions of colorism in the black community are often quiet?
There's always been anxiety about what white people think about us. We don't want to give white folks more fuel for the fire, and so let's not air our dirty laundry. We'll just deal with that on our own. But anytime that we try to talk to each other, it turns into war. You know, we're quick to point fingers and blame and say, I had this experience because of someone that looked like you.
What are the darker people doing in the yellow circle?
Kiara Lee is 22 years old. Like Professor Blay, she believes colorism divides the black community. It's why she teaches concepts of colorism to grade school kids in Richmond, Virginia.
My goal for the kids is to have them understand what colorism is. Hopefully, them knowing where it comes from, they will be less likely to perpetuate these behaviors.
I heard somebody over here saying, I don't want to be dark, dark, dark. Who said that? No, why don't you like being dark, dark?
Because it's ugly.
Why is dark ugly?
I don't know.
So, if you were darker, you wouldn't like yourself?
I say that to say this is a safe space.
Vision hears the same thing from the teenagers he mentors. On Twitter, enter #TeamLightSkin or #TeamDarkSkin and see comments like, light skin is the right skin, or there are few pretty dark-skinned girls.
Why are we still doing Jim Crow stuff? Why are we still on slavery terms? Why are we putting ourselves through this?
So Vision is focusing on a conversation about skin color and identity with Nayo, Becca, and about 50 other young poets. Among the questions they'll be tackling, who is black?
Race is a social construct. You are who you say that you are.
What makes you black?
Is black just skin? Is black culture? Is black our experiences? Is black struggle?
Who determines who is black?
The irony is that who's black is determined not by black people. Who's black is determined functionally by white people.
And how does skin color divide black America?
We are all very aware from our lived experiences that skin color matters.
Once you've identified, you're there.
These are uncomfortable, often painful questions.
You gotta stop trying to push people in boxes that we're comfortable in. It's not about me. It's about Niall's path. It's about Becca's path.
The journeys down these paths are just beginning.
Why, then, are you so reluctant to say, I'm black, deal with it?
I am
Dominican. I'm a dark-skinned Dominican. But when somebody asks me if they're black, I automatically think that they're asking me African-American, which I'm not. I think it's two totally different cultures. They come from the same ancestry as, you know, Africa, obviously, but, I mean, we're like 400 years removed. So what point are we just going to say American and Dominican? How I look on the outside doesn't necessarily mean I'm the same culturally as somebody else who's the same complexion as me.
3, 2, 1. Around this room, there are a bunch of signs on the wall, a bunch of quote-unquote identities on the walls, on the pillars, on some chairs. Walk around the room. You can only choose one. Walk around the room, find out the classification you think you fit, that you identify with most. Stand there. Go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Vision is asking each student to choose an identity.
What's this over here? Oh, female. Perfect. So easy. Lady parts. Lady parts.
Has everybody identified? Is everybody comfortable? When somebody walks up to you and says, hey, what are you? This is how you identify, correct? This is where you're at, correct? Yeah. Everybody have a seat.
I went for female because, like, other kind of makes you feel like I'm not, like, a person. I copped out. I will, like, readily admit, like, I thought going into it, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna walk over to other, and, you know, as maybe that's not how I feel. Like, I don't feel like an other.
Your mother is?
Black, and then my dad is white.
Tell me about your mom.
There isn't really much I could tell you, honestly, because there's not much that I know. I think her and my dad, they got divorced when I was really, really young, and then after that, I just never saw her.
So, do you say you're black?
I will say that I'm black and white, but I've never just said black. I don't necessarily feel black. I was raised up with the white people, white music, white food. So, like, that's not something that, like, you know, I don't know.
Why are you so reluctant to say, I'm black, deal with it? Because I have spiky little black hair. I have brown skin.
Personally, I feel like I don't really feel black, you know? I feel like it's a part of me, but it's not everything.
So is Niall black?
She can identify how she chooses. I'm just saying if we didn't know each other, I would just assume that she was a black woman.
Ancestrally, she's biracial. However, the rest of the society will, in all likelihood, as it does with millions of other people every day, remind her of her blackness in a million subtle ways. And the fact that her father's white, the fact that she was embedded in white culture will not prevent her from having a black experience in a racialized system.
Tim Wise began fighting racism right out of college. He's written books on racism in America.
Color and who qualifies as black, who qualifies as white, has historically been policed not by those who were the targets of oppression, but by those who set up the system of oppression as a way to dole out the goodies or to withhold the goodies from a society where color has really been the dividing line for opportunity.
Hey, Queen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Today, Professor Yaba Blay is speaking to Vision's workshop about one drop. Historically, it's the concept used to define who was white and who was black. By 1925, nearly every state had a form of the one-drop rule on their books. It began during slavery.
What's one drop mean?
You got any black ancestry in you at all, and you're black.
Black over here, you're enslaved. White over here, you're free. But y'all are coming in the middle, and you don't look like Yaba, and you don't look like white man, so what are you?
They were, for the most part, children of rape. White master, black slave.
And historically, whiteness has been defined as pure. The government then came to define blackness as anybody with any trace of African ancestry. Any trace. So this definition of blackness has come to be defined as the one-drop rule. So we've got this pure bottle of white